the Cavs lose a nail-biter of a basketball game in their home opener against the Thunder by 3 points, 108-105, in favor of Oklahoma City being the final score there. No Darius Garland in this one with a hamstring injury. Jarrett Allen still out of the lineup, meaning Dean Wade and Isaac Okoro made the starting five for the Cavs. At first, the teams traded 7-0 runs. The Cavs' first 7 points were all Isaac Okoro, just like we all expected. The Cavs' offense definitely adjusting to life without Darius Garland, and a back-and-forth first quarter ends with the Cavs in a 5-point deficit, trailing 31-26. I thought with both Garland and Jarrett Allen out of this one, a vital part of the Cavs offense is that pick and roll with Garland and Allen, not just for those two, but in order to get some of the spacing on the floor for everybody in general. I do feel like it took them a little bit to adjust to not having that at their disposal, but early in the second quarter, things would start to really fall apart for Cleveland. Offense would go ice cold. I believe at one point they were 1 for 16 from beyond the three-point arc. Thunder took advantage to start, and they would start pulling away. And I thought even when the Cavs settled down defensively, they started to kind of clamp down on the Thunder about midway through that second quarter. The offense struggled with the consistency, so it was kind of hard to tell that the defense was starting to put in work. Three-point shooting, like I mentioned, awful. Chet Holmgren for the Oklahoma City Thunder was a terror in the paint, not just early in the game, but pretty much all game long, definitely getting the better of Evan Mobley down there in a couple possessions. Offense eventually, pretty much in the second quarter, came down to Dean Wade actually making a three and Donovan Mitchell making some individual plays here and there. Now they go into halftime down 10, which felt like a miracle considering how that second quarter felt. It kind of felt like it should have been more than 10, and that's definitely a deficit that's possible to make up. The Cavs would have had to have play better in the second half, and they did, but it was definitely a very possible comeback even after that abysmal second quarter. Now, early in the third, Okoro hit in the face on a Thunder possession inadvertently. He went down. Play continues, however. Chet Holmgren was fouled on a shot, and he lands on Okoro's face. I don't think any part of this play was actually dirty, but you could kind of tell from the language of JB Bickerstaff and some of the Cavs players that maybe they felt the game should have been stopped, or that they maybe it's just a little unfortunate that Chet Holmgren was taking some free throw shots after that. The Cavs players and that coaching staff definitely felt a little bit miffed on how those things went. Again, I don't think it was necessarily dirty, but that did kind of spark a change in how the Cavs played. I found it to kind of to be a similar effect to what the Dillon Brooks brawl did for them last year in that game against the Grizzlies, where they kind of rallied around being angry over something. Again, I do want to really emphasize, I don't think there was any really like dirty intentions from any of the Thunder players, but the Cavs maybe felt like they were done dirty just by the overall situation. It did give them an edge that they weren't really playing with prior to that. Okoro would leave the game and go to the locker room, but he would eventually return. So I'm hoping that injury to look like it could potentially be a head or concussion thing. Hopefully that does not linger on into future games, and it just hurt in the moment, but now that he's back from it, he's fine again. I'm hoping that they don't lose another player early this season. Donovan Mitchell stepping up when the team needs him to, leading the charge offensively in that third quarter, and defensively, that effort that was starting to show around midway through the second quarter, that was starting to garner some results as the Cavs cut that deficit and that lead closer and closer as the third quarter went on. And while they were still trailing heading into the fourth, they were able to cut that lead and really turn momentum in their favor heading into the fourth quarter for that game. And the momentum would carry over as the Cavs would take the lead off of a second chance dunk from Evan Mobley. You have Max Strus hitting a couple of threes earlier in that fourth quarter to get things going. And things would stay close throughout the fourth quarter, throughout this entire game. The game definitely stayed physical throughout the duration. JB Bickerstaff and Max Strus were both hit with technical fouls for arguing some non-calls. Lu Dort on the Thunder getting into foul trouble. He was having a really solid game and had to sit on the bench for a good amount of minutes in that fourth quarter. Big sequence as the fourth quarter starting to wind down. Karis LeVert hitting a three, but that put the Cavs up 6. Then SGA hit with an offensive foul on an inbounds pass, and Donovan Mitchell would respond with a layup after that. Thunder, though, staying in it with a couple of threes, and at first the Cavs offense was doing just enough to give the Cavs a bit of a comfortable cushion until that stopped happening. The Thunder defense really clamping down late in the fourth, doing a good job of forcing the Cavs into some tough shots, low percentage shots there, and the threes kept falling for Oklahoma City. They were taking looks as soon as they got them and making them. I thought the Cavs maybe could have done a little bit. They could have emphasized a little bit more of really making an effort to stop those shots on the perimeter. But as soon as the Cavs would sag back even a little bit, anticipating a drive to the basket, Oklahoma City, whoever was shooting, would just jump up and make it. And that's, credit to them for hitting those shots. And the Thunder defense doing a good job of holding the Cavs offense to really minimal low percentage shots late. Lu Dort with a driving shot to put the Thunder back in the lead with about 28 seconds left. Donovan Mitchell taking a jump shot way short. Lu Dort with some really good defense there. Cavs have to start fouling at that point because of the clock working against them. Jalen Williams hits 2 free throws to put the Thunder up by 4. Donovan Mitchell responds with a 3, so not all hope is lost. SGA would hit 2 more free throws to put the Thunder back up by 3, but then he would steal the ball from Mitchell to end the game with that 108-105 final score. So SGA, Chet Holmgren, and Lu Dort all having tremendous games and clutch moments in their own right. Chet Holmgren with 7 blocks, in Oklahoma City rookie record, so good for him. He also hit the 3 to tie the game as well. Lu Dort, like I mentioned, had the shot that put the Thunder in the lead late in the game where they would hold on to that lead, and SGA getting that steal at the very end to close it out. And for the Cavs, that is a really rough way to lose a basketball game, especially a home opener. I know the Cavs were down 2 of their starters, and you'd like to have Jarrett Allen and Garland back in the lineup ideally, but to have as big of a lead late in that game as they did and not come away with a W, that's definitely a lapse for sure, no matter who was out there, especially when you consider Donovan Mitchell had a 43-point night, definitely carried the offense through some doldrums. They battled back from that hole that they got put in that first half. Yeah, the Thunder, the Thunder make some shots, put the pressure on, and they steal one in Cleveland. And credit for the Thunder for being very opportunistic with the ball and opportunities that they had late. It's just one that, again, the Cavs, they get themselves in this hole, and they spend a good quarter and a half really trying to come back from that. And they do. They get the comeback, they get a lead, and they get a pretty sizable lead in the second half of that fourth quarter. And to see them just kind of have the Thunder come back in it and with I guess a pun here, a thunderous comeback to steal this game in Cleveland. Definitely not one you want to see. You'd like to see a result follow some of that work that they put in defensively in the second quarter, and then putting all together in the third and fourth for a time until the Thunder really stole it. But I'm not going to panic too hard because it is just the second game of the season, and they were missing a couple of pieces from their starting lineup. But again, it's disappointing to see as a Cavs fan for sure. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it by saying, oh, it was actually good that the Cavs lost. No, it kind of sucks to see them lose, and especially how they lost. If they would have just gotten blown out, you could have said, well, it's not our night. But this was a game that they clearly could have come away with a W in, send the fans home happy, but I guess they might have to hold off on that for at least a little bit. But that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did make it this far into it, leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and you'd like to see more like it. You can let me know what you thought about this game and how the Cavs might fare in the early season down in the comment section below. Once again, thank you for watching. I'll see you at the next one.